After that comes our self-awareness. That's the next step. What is self-awareness? You need to know yourself better than other people pointing to you and telling you what kind of a person you are. And a lot of time, people who are not emotionally regulated, when you talk to them, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I should be doing. Because when we are emotionally dysregulated, we are not even sure what we want. And that is exactly what sometimes confuses our parents. हमें नहीं समझ आ रही, हम इसके लिए सब कुछ कर रहे हैं. All we do is we just talk to them in a very bitter, sarcastic manner. See, you don't understand me. You don't even know where I am. But tell me na. Tell me. A lot of time when such mothers come to me and ask me, मैं क्या करूँ? I have tried each and everything and I'm like, no, you're overdoing it. This is not about you. This is about your daughter, your son, or your so-and-so family member. If the person is emotionally dysregulated, they will never be able to explain anything. And they will be like moving from one end to another. So have some awareness about your strength, your weakness. Face some realities inside. And there are so many articles that you can read about self-awareness. And the best thing that people usually advise is that you start journaling. How do you do journaling? You continuously write for 10 minutes every day, whatever comes in your mind. When you're disturbed, just keep writing. If you keep doing this activity every day, your thoughts will get streamlined and you will be able to sort out what I'm feeling, what I actually want. Okay? So self-awareness is very important. Once you have awareness about your own self, you move on to the next step. And that is self-regulation. You regulate your emotions. We cannot give responsibility of our emotions to other people. You know what? Because my parents are toxic, that's why I'm very angry and negative all the time. Studies have proved that people sometimes they live in very toxic environments, but they're very healthy and very positive. We read their stories. We watch their TikTok and their shorts. But when it comes to our own self, we blame it on the other people. Yes, environment, if there's negativity in environment, will affect us. But having said that, if you take responsibility of your own emotion, you understand the principles of emotional intelligence, you can still do a lot for yourself. When you have emotional numbness, that is an indication that you have suppressed your emotions for such a long time, or something extremely painful has happened in your life. And whenever something very painful happens in our life, there is a natural defense mechanism. Our brain shuts it down. But our brain shuts it down for a short period of time so that we can stabilize ourselves. But if we have not learned how to deal with emotions, we keep ourselves in shutdown mode for a very long time. And people who are emotionally numb usually move towards self-harm and suicidal ideation. I have a lot of young girls coming to me when they tell me that I don't feel anything and there are a lot of challenges in the family. And I usually ask them, are you into self-harm? Do you feel suicidal? These two factors are there. They say, I don't know why I want to cut myself or harm myself. So I tell them, because emotions need a way out. And since initially you had a protective mechanism helping you from the hurt, but now you have made it into like such a strong wall or boundary for yourself, you're not letting your emotions out. And you're creating misery for yourself. So what you need to do is gradually give yourself space to feel things. And again, journaling helps in that. More you write. I have some clients who, when they sit with me in the session, they're totally quiet. I'm talking and they don't want to talk about anything. But then they send me long messages. And they're very expressive in their messages. So what then I do is sometimes when they've given me long messages, I sit with them and I read those messages to them. And initially they're very uncomfortable. They're like, no, whatever I've sent you, I don't want you to read. I'm like, no, let me read because I need some clarity. And then they become so comfortable. After like a few months or so, They understand that I'm going to read in front of them, and they understand I'm going to give them solution, and then they start talking about it. Because we are very messed up in emotions. So self-regulation is very, very important. What's self-regulation? I feel very depressed. So I should not flaunt about it. Oh, yeah, I have this depression, and I think it's clinical depression. I have panic attack. Oh, really? Yeah, me too. I also have it. How do you feel it? What time do you feel it? It has become like an in thing. You need to talk about your mental health challenges. And if a girl is sitting and saying, Alhamdulillah, I don't have any mental health challenges, ये कोई पढ़ाकू सी होगी और routines वाली है. At the end of the day, when you want to kill yourself, die, do's. ये जो जितना म्यूजिक है आजकल का, जितनी चीजें, these are becoming norms in giving you more and more negativity. We call it a disease, problematic social media use. It's a proper disease now. People who are too much on social media, the youngsters who are too much on the social media, they are either anxious or they are depressed. And they see no hope in their future. So this is because you're not emotionally regulated. So you have to work on your regulation. Read about it. The only way to get life is be principled in your life. So when you're talking about self-regulation is you follow the principles. If you are so dead inside, it will take you few months to do that. So every day you sit down and you just write whatever comes to your mind. You don't have to dig deep initially. It will take you a while. Just say if there is a lock that you have not opened for, let's say, few weeks or months, what will happen? It will be jammed. And it will, if you keep like forcing it, ultimately it will open. You don't have to give up on yourself. So once you work on your self-regulation is if I have anger, I need to manage my anger. If I am sad, I need to work on my sadness. If I have anxiety, I need to work on my anxiety. If I need to learn all the social skills, I need to basically work on the framework. Once you're regulated, that's when you then look at the other person. That's the next step, where you look at the other person and you try to understand, okay, whom am I dealing with? My mom. What kind of person she is? What does she like? What she doesn't like? If I shout at her, what will happen? Because a lot of times we keep shouting at our parents and then going back and saying, I'm so sorry, I won't do it again. And then we keep repeating again. Why are we doing it? Not because they are not changing their behavior. Because we are not regulated. We have no self-awareness and we are not regulated. So you have to work on your validation. You have to work on your self-awareness. You have to work on your self-regulation. If you work on these areas, then your social skills will, inshallah, gradually improve.
You've been putting away your emotions for so long, validating them, admitting that they're real, and you just don't want to do that.
If you have been putting away your emotions for a long time, you're not even comfortable validating. It's like, it sounds so artificial. That's okay. Whenever we do something for the first time or initial time, we do feel artificial. But when we keep repeating it, what happens? We get the hang of it. And another important thing is, let's say you want to validate yourself or you want to validate the other person, you have to keep reading about it. What is self-validation? How do you validate other people? Every day you read one article about it. To practice a skill, 1 hour lecture or 60-minute lecture is not enough. You don't become expert of emotional intelligence. This is just an awareness session. So whatever you have learned, the keywords over here, you now explore them. Now read about them. You have to become a good reader. When you read and then you put it into practice and then you relate it to Quran and Sunnah as well, that's when you'll start gradually becoming more emotionally intelligent. And you'll be able to practice it. This should just be an icebreaker for you that, oh my God, I thought my parents were such criminals. Now I realize it's my own, I don't have self-awareness. I'm not regulated. I shout at them, I scream at them, I give them attitude. That is why I'm not able to get the right answers. As I told you, I can tell someone I'm really angry, I'm really upset. Because if my kids ask me or my family members ask me, oh, you look upset, I'm like, yes, I am very upset and I'm very angry. But I'll say it in a tone that they'll say, okay, we are backing off, we're giving you time to settle yourself. This is your job, it's not our job. If someone has mental breakdown every day, they need to go to an expert, 100%. That is like a red flag. It's a red flag. But I will also tell you that if we work on our emotions all the time, then we lower that level of breakdown. So that is why it is important to be emotionally intelligent. Lot of people don't want to talk about their emotions. That's okay. You give them space. Let's say if you want to talk to someone, that's what I do. My kids, they look upset, I go to them, you look upset, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay? Because self-awareness and self-regulation tells us I need to take responsibility for my emotion. So I just tell them that, okay, if you want to talk about it, take some help, I'm there. So if they need to talk, they'll come and talk to me. If they don't want to talk and they settle themselves in a day or two, I give them enough space for that. So we need to give responsibility of their emotions to them. Okay? But I'm also giving you opportunity that if you need to talk, I'm there. We don't need to push our way in. Batao. The important thing is that then they should manage it. They cannot give me attitude because they are not regulated. Either they take help from me, from someone else, or they manage themselves.
How to work on emotional triggers?
Emotional? Triggers? Okay, triggers are our responsibility. For one thing, we don't even identify the triggers. We just get upset. So we need to have a list of all the emotional triggers with us. And whenever we enter that zone where that trigger is, we need to enter that zone with a lot of self-awareness. For example, you have a cousin or someone in your family or friends who always says nasty things to you, which makes you very upset. So that's a trigger for you. This is an environment that you cannot avoid. You have to be there all the time. So what you do is, whenever you enter that place and this person is sitting over there, tell yourself, he or she is over there, and there is a big possibility this person is going to make a remark which will make me angry, upset or something. So I'm going to listen from here and pull it out from the other ear. I will have an emotional barrier to whatever this person is saying. I would say you hear, but you do not listen. That's the formula that you should have. Again, you'll have to practice it with a lot of skills.
Is it a very sustainable method?
Yeah. It's extremely sustainable. The question is, sometimes when we're feeling something and the other person pushes you to tell them why you're feeling a positive or a negative emotion and you don't want to tell them, don't tell them.
But sometimes they always force you and you cannot.
That's the skill you need to learn. Having a healthy emotional boundary. You change the topic, or you just simply look into their eyes, smile and say, this is very personal and I don't want to share. I really like you, you're a good friend, you're a sister, but this is something very personal I'm not comfortable sharing in the moment.
Sometimes you tell your mom that you're feeling this and that, but sometimes your mom tells her friends that can you teach them.
I don't see any problem with that. You talk to your mom, I'm feeling a certain way, and your mom brings in her friend or sister or anyone else saying, help her. You should praise your mom that she is not well equipped, she is not messing up with you, and she is bringing in someone who is more of an expert in that area and asking that person to help you. I don't see why we feel offended. I do family therapy. A lot of time when young girls come to me, they have this weird concept of counseling or coaching. Very personalized, where you don't even utter a word to the family member. The family members are like sitting lost outside. How are we supposed to behave? So I always tell her, look, I'm a family therapist. I'm not going to leak out your secrets, telling them everything. But I would like to tell your family members how they should interact with you. And I would also like to listen to their perspective. That is an Islamic way of doing things. ये जो हमें अंग्रेज ने सिखा दिया ना, you're lying on a couch and you are saying whatever you want to and it's not leaking out, and if your parents come up and say, I need to know, like, how things are happening, and you tell them, go and take consent from your kid. The parents are paying for it. So they have a right to know. And even if they're not paying for it, they're your parents, Islamically. They have a right to know if something wrong is happening in your life, because they might be contributing to that. And they might also be learning their own way how to deal with that situation. Alhamdulillah, I have noticed when you do family therapy, things become better because the whole family is learning.
What if your mom doesn't support you, or like when you have family talks or mental and she's like, you just angry?
I also don't support my kids. I'm teaching emotional intelligence, but I'm not going to support them in something which they don't understand at the moment. How old are you, most of you? You are 16. If you have a 7-year-old kid in your family, cousin, brothers, sisters, they are taking a decision which is appropriate for their age, but you at 16 understand that's not the right decision. What will you do? Will you listen to that kid having a sore throat and wanting to eat ice cream in a cold weather and crying over it? What will you tell the kid? No, you cannot have it. And the kid will say, my sister, my cousin, this elder doesn't understand me. Psychology says the years of experience is most important experience, most important education. So your mom is twice your age. She might not be able to have the hang of TikTok, make shorts for herself, understand what's the difference between Snapchat or the Insta or making reels. She cannot do that. But she has loads of experience on the basic principles. She might be messing up as a human being in different areas. But if she's not supporting you in something, you have to understand, why not? Just because all the girls are doing it, the whole society is doing it, doesn't justify that your mom should not stop you. I remember my mother is a doctor. In my times, my friends, my cousin, they used to go on public transport and my mother never allowed me. And I used to cry over it. And when I asked my mom why you don't allow me, whereas my puppo, my khala, everyone allows their daughters, she said they are housewives. They have not experienced what I experienced as a doctor. I'm more exposed. Same goes for me. When I tell my daughters not to do a certain thing, they don't understand my perspective. They're like, you don't trust me, sab karte hain, you're suffocating us. जब हमारे पास ऐसे cases आते हैं, very energetic young girl was hanging out with the guy और वो उसको murder कर दिया, फिर क्या होता है? You might be educated, but there are certain boundaries that Deen gives us, parents gives us. They are for our protection. We need to understand that perspective. हम बाहर का perspective देखते हैं. और अगर आपको लगता है कि there is something not right about what my parent is saying, तो talk to them properly with emotional awareness and regulation. When we talk to them, we just give them, we sort of do our emotional dumping on them. We thrash them. We're like, you don't know anything. When I have my own life, I'll do what I want to do. It's not the way to talk to them. Understand their perspective, why they don't want you to do a certain thing. When my mom stopped me, it safeguarded me from so many evils. And I understand that even my kids, when I stop them and they feel, Hamari maa zalim hai, they will understand when they're going to be my age, inshallah. That our mother did right when she stopped us. Are you earning? No. You're living in my house. I'm paying for everything. And if something goes wrong, are you going to be able to handle yourself? Who will come to your rescue then? People who are stopping you और सारी दुनिया कहेगी अच्छे माँ बाप हैं, अच्छे माँ बाप हैं. उस वक्त कोई नहीं देखेगा कि माँ बाप बेचारे समझा रहे थे and we were not listening to them. So when our parents they say yes or no, they understand the risk factor because of age. Like you understand the risk factor for your 6-year-old kid in the family. इस वक्त उसको आइसक्रीम नहीं खानी चाहिए. Understand? Have an open heart to understand what your parents tell you. When parents tell you something, there's a wisdom in it. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.